I'm State Representative Monica Duran for House District 24, and I think what's really important is that we elevate the voices of our families and our children and the needs that are out there in the community. One bill that I'm working on is basic cash assistance, which provides funding for families that are below the poverty level. And I think what's so important about that is that basic cash assistance has not been raised since 1996. So we are expecting families with children to live on a certain amount each month. I think it's about $508 a month to be able to provide for their families, which is impossible when you consider inflation, the pandemic, everything else that's going on. So this piece of legislation is really transformational. It not only will raise the basic cash assistance each month, it also creates it stops the cliff effect, because once you get a job and you get yourself in a position where you can take care of your family, all of a sudden you drop off of this assistance. That's a cliff effect. So it just creates a vicious cycle, right? So we want to make sure we're lifting families, that we're giving them the opportunity. The other thing it'll do is it gives them a seat at the table so that their voices are heard. We hear from them directly. Just like today, what was so important is to hear what their needs are, how we as legislators and communities can help lift them up, help them with their children, and give them the tools they need. I hope people will get to know their neighbors, communicate, and realize if you keep those lines of communication open, so if you're hearing something about child abuse or you maybe suspect something, that you can talk about it. You remove that stigma, because when there's that stigma there's silence. And when there's silence and stigma, nothing changes. So that's what I'm hoping for. We're talking about it today, we're planting the seeds, we're bringing attention so that we all start talking about it and say, oh, you know what? I noticed this, or I noticed that, or how can I help you? You know, I notice that you're going through a lot right now with pressures of job, bills, everything. How can I help? You know, I was at one time a single mom, and I was a homeless single mom. And at that time, there was a stigma not just on being homeless, but I was also a domestic violence survivor. So a stigma on domestic violence, being homeless, and I had a young son to take care of. So it was hard to talk about at that time. But I think we have a lot more work to do, but we've come a long way, that you need to talk about it and realize there's no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in saying, look, I am going through this and I am struggling. How can you help me? People are willing to help. We just need to reach out.